Hey guys, welcome to a brand new episode of Tea With Tay Pod, the only podcast that brings you tea as it is hot. And of course, speaking about tea, this episode is proudly sponsored by my faves, Lipton. Today, my guest is a singer-songwriter who's not afraid to influence the culture for Jesus. His name is Oluwasomi Oludikpe David, professionally known as Spyro. Who's your guy? Please, a round of applause for my guest. My guy, welcome to my podcast.
What's good?
Finally.
What's poppin'? Yeah,
I don't
stay
chase
away
you
with you.
since. How's it going now?
chase you. They chase ourselves.
Yeah, but finally we're doing it now. So it's a good time.
What's good? What's poppin'? How's life?
I'm on with you. It's the end of the year when we're wrapping up.
Confirm.
Life is good so far.
Confirm.
How's your end?
We thank God. We're pushing.
You're thriving. I see all the evidence.
Evidence of God's doing.
As in, God is really doing it. So
Yeah, we thank God. Thank God.
It's good to have you. I know I would never have guessed that you were like from the West. I thought that you were probably from like the South. So when I saw Oluwasomi, I'm like, oh wow.
The proper Lagos boy.
I see that.
Born and bred in Lagos.
Okay, so please I want to get to know Oluwasomi. Who is Oluwasomi? If you were asked, who's the real?
So he's a boy from the slums of Mushin. I grew up in Mushin with my parents. I get papa, I get mama, I'm a twin.
You are?
Yeah. So I have a twin sister and then I have an elder brother. So I spent most of my formative years in Lagos, in Mushin, precisely. So from primary school to secondary school, and then I schooled in University of Ibadan.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. I've been a Lagos boy till I got to the university, level of education.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'm on straight le mio.
Maybe street side. Tell me about growing up in Mushin.
My parents did a very good job, guarding us and keeping us indoors, even from home.
Mm-hmm.
We moved from home to church, from home to school. They limited that interference with the space. But based on say me, I stubborn now. Based on say me, I don't want to do music tete, so I dey always waka. Come out, go mix, go mingle with guys,
So because people say this thing a lot about Mushin being a slum, but a lot of talented people have come from Mushin and a lot of successful people. Is it that because of the mindset, people don't exactly grow past a certain level, or what keeps people stuck there? What keeps people at a certain level in Mushin?
So I won't say that it's a general thing, because there are people that come out from Mushin and they are motivated by things they see around. So if you see someone that is driven in Mushin, most definitely that person is going to be big, because you're motivated by the struggles and the hustles in your environment. So for example, one day cool, for example, and a couple of other people that came out from Mushin, is almost like looking at where you're coming from and saying, I don't want to continue this lifestyle. So that on its own is like a ginger for you.
Motivation.
To pursue your dreams and go get get the stacks and go make something out of your life.
But it's good that didn't influence you, because you clearly said you were guarded, you were shielded.
Yeah, but it did influence me, because you can there are two sides to it. Two sides to the coin, because you can't come out from everything happens on the street of Mushin, so you have inspiration everywhere. So Mushin majorly shaping my own musical, my musical life.
Okay.
Because it was right there that I got exposed to different genres of music, Fuji, Akbala, any kind of music that you can think of.
So is it that there's a big culture of music in Mushin?
Yeah.
Because there's 2 or 3 people that have come on this podcast and they were from Mushin and they've gone on to become like superstar
Mhm.
musicians.
Yeah, I mean, because unlike Island, where we say they no fit just open one place, they sell say cassette, they blast music. For Mushin, everywhere they sell CD, they play one music. For if you enter this street, they play Wasiu Ayinde. If you enter this one, so you know. So I mean, I grew up in that place where everywhere you turn to, they are playing one music or the other. You know, if they are playing Two Face here, they are playing Wasiu Ayinde here, playing different. Yeah, so it influences you.
That's amazing. Tell me about Tell me about the relationship with your parents. And you mentioned church, growing up in church and being guarded. I can imagine that your parents were like serious church people who
Mm.
like protected you guys. Like, so me, church is at 5 o'clock. Oh yeah, yeah, your sister, get up, get ready, go. Like,
Yeah, my father is quite strict. You know,
right?
it's a pastor, and
Oh wow,
the way the way pastors are with their
yeah,
kids,
big
like
kids.
they're really very strict, and because they have this ideology that pastors' children are usually the ones
Now
that
with this purpose.
you get.
Mm.
My papa looked me one day, say, "Shey, you don't hear the story of Magdalene Gay? Papa just shoot am. Say, I no feel let any pikin come here.
Mm.
You just kill yourself. Make you
Ah,
just die.
I
Nobody
swear,
will think about you when you are gone. I mean, there's just that.
pressure.
Yeah, you get.
But that pressure is never good for the
It's not, to
yeah.
be honest with you. I must say that that's not what I didn't even know God. I didn't meet God through my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was right in front of the the Bible, like every morning you go wake up now Bible
Yes,
tire me. Like
morning
I
devotion,
I,
everything.
I sabi Bible from pali to pali, but I was forced to do it. So I didn't know who God was. In fact, my dad made me hate God, the
Mm.
personality of God. Like, who is this guy?
Guy that's
That's
stressing
just
us out.
wicked. Like,
Yeah.
now when sleep the sweet past, now they'll come wake you up,
Mm.
say morning devotion.
I
You
can
can
relate.
imagine how crazy that is. When sleep, that time
When
of
small
the
picking day.
day, that time of the night, we say midnight, we say na for that 4, 5.
Yeah, VG
Is
goes.
that sleep the sweet. They can't wake you up, say morning devotion.
I hated it
You
so
understand?
much.
So it was just so much pressure. You have to be in church at this particular time. In fact, now you go first reach church, first sweep church, carry speaker, carry arrange the
I
church, do all
swear.
these things. So it was just crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was crazy. I mean, but we thank God. We thank God.
Mm.
My mom was able to balance it up because while my dad was high-handed
Mm-hmm.
on that, you know, you have to do this, you have to do that. My mom
Mm.
was able to balance it up with so much love. Yeah.
Mm. Bless her. So did music start for you like from like secondary school, or when did it officially start? When you got to uni, or when did the music kick off proper for you? Because also you're a PK, right? A
Mm-hmm.
pastor's kid. So it means that
Mm-hmm.
you cannot even do the music too much in front of him. It's a thing
Mm.
where it's almost like a hobby that you have to probably hide from him. I don't know if that was the case for you.
Um. Yeah, my dad never wanted me to do music because I mean I was a fine artist before. I could draw so well, but I mean for one reason or the other, he stopped me from doing that, and then I started music, you know. And he wanted to stop me from doing that, but I got rebellious, and I'm like, nah, you took this other one from me, you won't be able to take this from
Oh, it
me.
took the fine art from me.
Yeah, so I mean, I stopped doing that, and then I ventured into music,
So,
and
how old were you when you went into music, bro?
I mean, from a very tender age, I think I was still in. I just had this flair for music, right from primary school.
So, would you
About
sing
that
in
flair.
church? Would you?
Yeah, like I was in the church choir,
Hmm.
and I was really, really good. Every choir master would they bring that time. I say, this boy is good.
Were you
So
playing instruments?
yeah, I played the drum set back
Hmm.
then in church. So
Hmm.
it was it was quite interesting. Anytime I find myself in that space where
Mm.
music is being played or music is being displayed or anything that
Yeah,
has to do with music, I just had that flair for it. So he never wanted me to do me. It was war.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
But you knew
so
this was what God had called you to do.
yeah, because even at that time, I started after. my secondary school education, I started making stops at the studio. I was selling recharge card back then,
Really?
because I had to,
Fend.
make
Ends
ends
meet. Yeah.
meet, fend for myself. Even though I had parents that were, they were giving me food, but your
Mm.
parents, once you don't come out school like this,
You know.
you do on your own. So I was just trying to, because me, now since that time, I don't like
To
lifestyle.
the gadge up. Yeah.
I like lifestyle, but my parents don't go give me money to do lifestyle. So I was selling recharge card and I was making, I think, 4,000 naira back then. 4,000 before,
Every
like,
day.
yeah, per month.
Okay.
Before the 4,000 naira comes, if I don't enter debt of like 20K. Like,
What
I
did
don't
they
go.
buy?
I know some stupid things. Like big collar shirts. For
Hey.
where they sell recharge card that year, one guy they will sell clothes, one Igbo guy they will sell clothes by the side. So
Your
before
profits, every student.
you get, I even be the steal money.
Mm-hmm.
I steal money from the recharge card business sef to go buy clothes.
Okay, so not be your business, it's yourself for
Not
person.
my business, I dey sell for personal. So, but my conscience can't grip me one time. I say, make I go confess. I go tell the owner, say, I've been taking money to
Clothes.
buy, to spend for myself, chop life, chop food, chop,
Yeah.
buy clothes. I can't think, say, maybe my honesty go make the guy say, this boy is so honest. Let me leave him.
If I you.
Guy carry fire, if to say fire me for better, I carry me go his solo. Go one of in branch, go his solo, where they sell, for where they always shoot gun. Guy carry me go there. I go sell recharge card. I sell recharge card for like 3 months. I don't collect salary. Because I don't get
In
choice.
wicked.
He said that he wicked.
Oh,
But
that's
I steal him money now.
but you came out to him. But I get it, sure. I get
Yeah,
it.
so it was funny. It was a funny
Mm-hmm.
experience. So that was what it was like growing up. So, but even at then, I'd always just now from that same money, I could save, take
Mm-hmm.
go studio, take do all those things. Yeah.
Tell me about University of Ibadan.
University of Ibadan. Um, I got into University of Ibadan, I think 2009, 2010, and it was at that point where I just needed to be in because my twin sister was in school, my brother was in school. I was the only one at home, so I was desperate to just get into school because I would have loved to do Unilag because of the
Yeah.
music career that I've chosen, the
Yeah.
music career path that I've chosen for myself. But it didn't work. But I just want to enter school, so I got into University of Ibadan, that is very known for the academic, you
But
know. So but I still wanted to do my music. So I started with the church thing. I sang in church. I did in church too in secondary school. I was the chapel prefect.
right.
That time they do deliverance. So they send winch come out.
For listen,
For
please
secondary school.
rewind, take me back there. Please. What do you mean they
uh,
did deliverance?
they do
They conduct deliverance.
yeah, so
Hmm.
God really used me for secondary school.
Mm.
Real time. If you know anyone that went to my secondary
So they
school,
cast out demons and
they'll give you gist. And these signs that shall follow them that believe in my name, that
oh
shall
by
they
shatter.
cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, they shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really,
How old were you then? Please give me a range.
I was so young, but I had passion for the things of God.
Right.
I had passion for the things of God, but anytime I go out, my papa would just make me just begin hate the system again because in secondary school I went to boarding school. So when I was in school, boarding school, I had freedom to do my things my way. Nobody's saying come and go to church. Nobody's saying so, but my dad had all these books, Christian books that I used to read, and I loved reading Christian books. I'll read demonology series. I know names of demons. I know, so if I see a demon in operation, I can tell this is
Spyro, please.
this is Abaddon, this is Apollyon, this is Beelzebub. Do you understand? Like you can characterize demons by their operations. Mammon, you know. So I read so much books. Like I would read Dr. Lukoya's book, plenty, say overpowering witchcraft. water spirit, how to deal with water spirit. Now the kind books where they read.
With Spyro with. What? Okay, so when they do the message of grace, that's it.
Is it?
When they do message of grace,
Bro, is whoa.
now whoa,
Now,
war
whoa,
against witchcraft.
trust me.
Okay, so I want to ask you a question, but I want to ask it after the fact. After I've asked you a couple of questions, because this witchcraft thing you just explained to me is it's quite interesting. But so at that young age, right?
Mhm.
You didn't like doing church with your dad, right?
Mhm.
But in school, God was using you to do other things.
Mhm.
Explain that chasm between not liking how your dad was representing God to you and you being used by God in secondary school.
The thing is that while with my dad, he had his own advantages because he was able to instill the fear of God
Right.
in us. We just didn't like his pattern. That it was by force. This God is by force.
Mhm.
So when I'm home, I'm like,
Yeah.
the pressure is just there. But when I'm in school,
Mhm.
it's just easy. Nobody is telling. I'm learning about God by
On your own
myself.
terms, yeah.
On my own terms. Nobody is having to tell me go to church at this time. Go to church. So I enjoyed it in school. I enjoyed the process of knowing God and serving God in school than being at home.
You know, one of the things that I've also come to learn as I grow older is that some of us don't like God because of how God was taught to us by
Mhm.
our pastors, our
Mhm.
family members. If they explain the love of God to us properly, we'll probably do better than our parents.
Yes, so
But some of us, they force feed us to, this is Jesus. You have to, he's a consuming fire. If not,
Yes,
he's going to
so
kill you if you don't.
yeah, if you
So,
watch TV, if you do this one, if you do that one, you don't worry, all those things,
so you're
man.
constantly trying to outperform the next person to just end God.
I'm
And that's the
telling you, the
problem.
gospel of Christ is the gospel of love. It's not
Yeesh.
the gospel of force. It's
Yeah.
not the, I mean,
But if
like,
you go and tell our parents from before, they don't go see grieve. They still deal with their spirit
well,
cocoa.
they should know better now,
Yeah.
though. So that was it.
So was it gospel music that you were doing at the time? Or?
Yeah, I was doing strictly gospel music in secondary school. Yeah, it was so. I had a band, like a group then called Gifted Voices, and we were so good that every Sunday, like people would go to church just to hear us sing. Say, it's Gifted Voices singing today, it's Gifted Voices singing
Which
today.
church was that?
Chapel of Light, like is the only, student fellowship in school.
In UI?
No, secondary school,
Oh, right.
Model
Okay, so,
College, Meron.
okay.
Chapel of Light. And it was seniors we call us to come sing for them. We do we good, but as Style Plus we always do for them. We do it so well that it will earn us food in the dining hall so
But no, payments be that
yes,
group
so
of secondary school
we
boys.
just sing Style Plus.
Yeah.
Did you call my name? And it was so good because I know a couple of my friends back then, Niyi, Mawuton, and yeah, Gabriel Bambo. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. It was fun. Devil go hate me on that period. I just the cast out demons anyhow. They do fellowship. I remember one fellowship we do like that. See the way people just they fly come on window.
Which kind of spirit is that one?
The prayer hot. The prayer. I was a prolific teacher of the
Let me
word.
tell you why I'm laughing this much. I was raised in the church. I know your type.
Oh God Almighty! And we pray. After I don't jack all those books, I wanted to test.
Yes.
Is this God? Is this God actually for real? This God where they read inside book, these things where they see for real. So I'll just go fellowship. When after I preach finish.
Like a familiar spirit.
Do you What's your own familiar spirit? So I'll just teach and then I teach very well. I teach the scriptures very well. So I'll just teach and we go into prayer session, hot prayer session. Maybe say amen. People know the fees. I remember a girl praise with one day. She no fit stand for floor. Like the floor was so hot. Like she was just my eyes don't see things.
That's spirit be that time.
I don't know, maybe not spirit. You say like no, but even till date, if you go pray reach some level where we say any unclean spirit where the environment no go fit, withstand the level of prayer.
I hear you. I
So I
hear
was
you.
just really young as at then,
Yeah.
but I was so young, but
Okay, so but I'm also curious about the teenage part of you, who's a young teenage boy trying to figure out his life, and this Christian part. Teenagers have a lot of, what's the word? Teenagers gets up to a lot, like
Mhm,
stupid things, girls,
mhm,
puberty. How you being very Christianese and
mhm.
you being a young boy growing up, how did you balance both? Because obviously you have female attention, you have all of these things. How are
so,
you able to?
so like I said, the perks of growing up with a father like mine is the
Mm-hmm,
fact that you had that fear of God. So that fear of God was instilled. So
mm-hmm,
till date, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't womanize, and because
hmm,
we were brought up to fear God. So there's some things that I see people do these days that I'm like, I can't try this thing. Like, how are you able to do it? Like, how I so right from that. I mean, that was the thing for me. Like, that
mm-hmm,
was what helped me all through my growing up. I could remember the that a girl was liking me in secondary school. That yeah, this girl liked me. She got Rebecca. I don't forget. She go do my me. I be prefect, so she go do my assignment for me, do everything for me, do this,
mm-hmm.
do this, do that. But it's just he say this boy no dey give am face because me I don't even know wetin. I just he say this girl for prep class go just come wear gown come no wear anything under. You just, what's going on here? So one day I can't sit down for her front. You don't wear the gown. Sit down for her front like this. Don't open everything for me. I just know the FC everywhere just begin hot. I didn't know how I was feeling. I was just feeling hot. Wait, what's going on? I got this
That's the
sweat.
God in you.
I just did sweat because I didn't even understand what was going on. My parents didn't teach me
Teach you,
anything
yeah.
other than God.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't talk about sex. You can't talk about So everything I learned was now what I learned everything that I know from books. Because I like to read, so
Mm-hmm.
I will read about pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
I could remember taking a course on sex education to educate myself
Mm-hmm.
because what you don't know, and you suffer for not knowing it.
Yeah.
So ignorance destroys faster than any other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that fear was just there. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can. So it helped me. Like I said, it had its advantages. And one of the advantage of that had was the fact that it helped me through my teenage years not to, you know, overdo things or join bad gangs or do all this because that fear just they say, how will I do this and sin against God? Or
Mm.
that fear shall they.
So in the heat of that moment, you didn't sin against God.
I don't do anything. No.
You overcame.
I ran out of the class. I can't forget prep class for night. I run enter bush.
Jehovah.
I don't let that bush. I just say, my shorts don't wet. What's going on? I don't know. Do
Oh,
you
so because
understand?
prior to now, you didn't have any idea what.
I didn't. Do you understand? Like I never even was. I
But but
don't
but,
know.
but Spyro, do you agree with me that and it's one thing it's good to be raised in a Christian home. It's good to be teach your children how to love God and know God,
Hmm.
right? But it's also good to teach them how to be young adults or
Yeah,
these basic things. It's
I
because
agree with you.
a lot of things that I learned by mixing with other kids, right?
Hmm.
And yes, we had the fear of God in a way that will make you say, no, that's going too far. God will not like this,
Hmm.
right? But there's some things that we could have learned from our parents, we
And
could
it
have
would
learned
have
from
been
people around,
better
and we
if
would
I
have not
learned
made
from
some
them.
mistakes that we made. But
Hmm.
sometimes we do this Christian thing too much to the point where the children are not wise, you're not educating them, you're only telling them
Hmm.
God hates this, God hates that.
Christians are too spiritual that they forget that you're human
I think
first.
I think Nigerian Christians are more religious than they are spiritual.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
spirituality doesn't take away you understanding things and teaching your
yeah. I
children
think
things.
that's it. Being religious. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it. That's the problem. You know, that's the problem.
And another thing I would say, before I go to the next question is that, I think Nigerian parents especially should be able to teach their children the love of God as opposed to them not doing things to offend God.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the young people think that, and that's why even this generation, a lot of people don't like God or don't do God, is
Because they've
because
seen God
he just seems
as
like
a wicked
he's
person.
a wicked commander who's ready to punish you at every turn that
Yeah.
you make a mistake. So I might as well just make all the mistakes and let him just kill me. That's how some people think.
But, I mean, God is not like that. God is a loving father. I mean, even when you make mistakes,
Yeah.
he wants to correct you. And it doesn't, God does not even punish forgiven sins. You know, so his arms are always open to
Mm-hmm.
embrace you, and
Yeah.
you know, and we need to do better as, you know, parents.
Yeah.
Our generation needs to do better as parents, because if they knew better, our parents had knowledge, they wouldn't have done that to us. So
Yeah.
now that we know, we need to make sure that we effect the change for the next generation.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
I agree. So tell me about the music in UI. So when you left secondary school, you're a Christian band, got into uni, you maintained the same band or did
No,
something
no, 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 no. I mean, the band fell apart, and then I had to start a new path for myself, the University of Ibadan. So I got into school, and then there were big names on campus. So I'm like, you know what? It was hard to even get shows. Like I
Oh, they
was
were already
struggling.
performing artists
Yeah,
in
in
the
University of
oh
Ibadan.
really?
Yeah, there were big names. You know what I mean? I met the likes of Dizzy, Active, Old School. I mean, people that were doing well on
Yeah.
the campus. You know, so it was hard for me to blend in. I tried doing a couple of auditions, but I was picked as a comedian even before they no pick me for artists to sing. Where I, you know, so they go audition you before you perform, you know, at some of the events back then. So I was picked as,
Comedian K.
yeah, guy, they do
Stand
comedy
like
self.
stand up.
Yeah, they do stand up,
I
guy.
better lie.
I tell you.
No, you don't also, my friend.
Yeah, I tell you.
Wait, what? Like you were doing stand up comedy
Yeah.
as opposed to music
Not like
first.
properly. I just knew that I was really funny. Like just
Just crack one joke for me.
no, I can't do it again, man.
Okay, now you're fully a musician now.
Yeah, full musician. So as they I audition me, I won't perform for the show by force. They audition me to sing. They no pick me. I can't say okay, I can try something else. I do comedy and they pick me. So I can't find way
So
change them from
it's
comedy back to music. You know, but
for
the what I just wanted was that they make
they
them even
hear
first
you.
pick me
Yeah.
first. You know,
So wait, when you reach the stage, the thing where you agree with them, say you do you know that
I know
you
do
started
am
to
on me
sing.
and sing.
I go chase you come up for the shoe.
Because now music me I won't do now. That
Oh,
music like I've that's what you know. So it was hard to get into that system and break the system. You know, so I remember seeing a poster one day for an event that was going to happen in school, and my name was not there. And I looked at it, and I'm like, by this time next session, no show would go in this uni without my name being on the poster. Like, you know, so I started working, and it happened. I became like the biggest name on campus, and shows in and out, and that was when decided that I think I made about 200 and something thousand one night as a student. As a student. So which one student? So that was huge money back then. And I'm
it's
like, I
still
don't
a lot
even
of
know
money.
if my
Yeah.
mom was ending up to that as a civil
Yeah.
servant. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I will never do white collar job. And that was where the decision came from. Because if I can make this much money doing what I love to do, then why would I go sit down in an
How did you
office
make
and
that
get paid?
200K?
Events, shows.
Tickets
No, like the get paid. I get paid. I was the hottest artist on
in UI.
campus. Yeah.
So were you performing in school events?
Yeah.
So were they paying that much at school events?
Yeah. I was getting, I mean, as at then, if you earn 50,000 per event, you're big. So I had like different events, same night.
But so artists in schools make money from performing in school.
Yeah. They
How
pay
did they
you.
make that money from ticketing or from?
I mean, they bring at just the way they call artists now, where you go pay them. You want to call me from social science department. I know their department, you go pay me. Even my department, if you want to make I was
So there's a whole
big on
structure and
campus.
system there.
Yes, it's like there's an industry, you know, every university, you know.
Wow.
So I mean, you want to do SUG president in my school. If you don't first come and talk to people like me, you are jonesing, because now we go do campaign song for you.
Influence
There are major decisions that even the school authority can make without
Oh
us on
wow.
campus. Like we were that big. Like
That's a lot of
I was the Wheezy of my uni then.
big deal.
Trust me. Yeah, I was a big boy.
Were you already Spyro then? Were you already called
Yeah, I was
Spyro
Spyro
then?
Freeze.
Spyro Freeze.
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
So when I did that secondary school, where I say I'm a pastor, they chase demon. Come out.
Ah! Stop. God.
So when we did you know, they called me. That was where I picked the name Spyro because they were always calling me Spyro Jira. Don't they call me Spyro Jira? Because the other students thought that anytime they do bad thing, when they see me, they come. They say maybe I they go report them to headmaster
Were
and
you that guy?
headmistress. No, but I wasn't. But the guys that were flocking with me, the Peters and the James and the what's the name of this guy Judas, the ones where they work out with me, and them they always do that. But because I was the head of the the gang, they
So this was a
associated
Christian
everything
gang.
to me. Yeah, it was a Christian guy.
Oh, with their real names, Peter, James, and Judas. Oh,
No,
this
no,
is
no. I
this
just
is your disciples. Oh, oh, makes
they're
sense.
like
Makes
my
sense.
disciples, people where they move with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but because I was the head of the gang, now people take things say that they go report to them. So when they see me come, yeah, spies, don't they come? Spyro Jira, don't they come? Spyro, don't they come? So after then, I needed a name to,
And you ran with
I
it.
was, yeah, and I just felt like all the names where I don't use no sweet. I say, which name they again? Which name do I remember? Oh, Spyro. I'm like, okay, let me check what Spyro stands for. You know, what does Spyro mean? And I checked the dictionary. It's associated to fire, and I'm like, oh, I'm a fire brand. Yeah, because I
Mm-hmm.
sing really well.
Mm-hmm.
I just incorporated the name, and that was it. So I added the freeze. The freeze was the name we had the beer before originally.
Oh, right.
So I can't because I just say this freeze name. One person the beer freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy freeze. This daddy
Yeah.
freeze don't
Yeah.
day since that time. They say, make people know they mix the name together. And I can't join this Spyro.
Spyro
So
Freeze.
Spyro freeze. So when I met Sound Sultan, I said, this your name too long.
It's a
They
mouthful.
twist for people mouth. So just make it on Spyro.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
That was it.
So you were basically the whiz of your time. And
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously you graduate from school.
Mhm.
What happened post uni with the career? Because after school, right, it's almost like, I mean, I was a model during school, right?
Mhm.
So but once I finished school, I had to get serious with myself, say, no money they come from parents again. So you probably had to get a job or actually focus on what you want to do. What was it for you? Did you probably try to get a job or you just continued with the music?
Yeah, so when I left, I didn't really leave the school setup because it was hard for me
Okay.
living because I was making cool cash. But now I know be student again.
Right.
That money wasn't coming as it used to be. So I was just still hanging there. I had a girlfriend then. I eventually left. You know, left and started hanging out with another guy, and that was what pushed me to actually come to Lagos. Like, oh, no,
So
this
you stayed in
breakup.
Ibadan for a bit.
Yeah, I stayed in Ibadan for a bit. So it was a breakup. It was that breakup that pushed me. I'm like, you know what? I'm coming to Lagos to also. So I just called my guy. We don't enter Lagos. Like he was doing masters while I was in 400 level. So Kunle, Super Kunle is my partner, like my business partner. So I just called him. He had a place in Yaba then. So I just moved in there and then they also started. But I knew in myself that I can never. Music is jealous. It's not something you can do and be doing another job on the side. So you need to give it your full attention. So
That's deep. Music is jealous.
all I was just doing then was building my catalog. I was making music. I was going for industry nights then. This industry now, I will see CK, this CKO, they also they meet boys, all of us just day.
What year was this?
This was not 2015, 2016. Yeah, there because I finished 2014. So this period, 2014, 2015, 2016, before I got signed by Polo 2017, thereabout. Yeah. So I just kept doing the music, making no money, obviously, to fund. So just trekking about, writing letters to. I remember writing a letter to Ife, Two-Face manager now. So, men assign us, Baba Keke, D1 and Babake Kenny's
So
music
these are the
then.
OGs in the business.
Yeah, so
So what was wrong? Why weren't you getting signed?
I don't know, because they had people that they were working with, and who is just this random boy on the street? Just they don't know me, no connection, nobody. I don't get connection. I'm
But do you
like,
need that when you have talent?
talent is not enough in this industry. Talent is never enough.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a struggle. I could give. Don't even let me mention it. You give some CDs, they throw your CDs at you. I literally gave someone my CD, an industry, you know,
Captain.
done. I
Mm-hmm.
give CD for my front. Now you just collect them, throw and fling gam, come out in car, drive off.
That's
So
crazy. So, but with all of this, you never doubted that this music was going to be possible, especially because um, as you get older, like let's say once you cross 30, because you blew it was
mhm,
I mean some years ago, right?
mhm.
But once you cross 30, do you get honest with yourself and say, come bless say this thing, this are not hit for my 20s, or might drop, I might go find work. Did that
Yeah,
thought ever come to your mind?
that time came. It wasn't. No, it was. It's not even about crossing 30. Who tell you say I be 30? Me, I
Okay,
be
yeah, you
Gen
look
Z.
25, yeah.
I be Gen Z.
Mm.
I'm about 23.
Yeah, it's show for the Wikipedia.
So I mean, but yeah, there were times like that I thought that, I mean, how do I continue pushing this thing when I can't even feed?
Hmm,
So I remember times where I would just sit down and cry, and like I can't even send money home to my parents, to my mom that is she's now retired, and she lived all her life to sponsor
our
me,
children.
to sponsor me especially. She sponsored her children, but me especially, because I got disowned pretty much at the time because my dad felt like I was unserious in school. He stopped paying my school fees. So my mom had to pick the bill,
Mm,
all through secondary school before I started making money. My mom was paying all the bills and all that. So
mm-hmm.
looking at her struggling, and even me myself, I know if you even chop, that frustrating time we
Yeah,
be say you go even dey record label, people go they follow you talk anyhow. I say, guys, look one woman one day, say, I be graduate too. You just follow me talk, like say, just people will just treat you
yeah.
anyhow
Mm-hmm.
because you're an artist and upcoming artist. Industry now at that time, say you just, to be honest with you, a lot of people that are now associating with you or being
Yeah.
familiar with you
Mm.
now, there are people that never showed you love,
Yes, yes.
but
Always like that. Yeah.
we can't blame them though. I know one particular lady on the industry night team that never gave me a chance.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that would always warm up to me,
Mm-hmm.
but there was one particular lady that never ever gave me a chance. Like she was just always frowning and always, but I can't blame her. She doesn't know me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? So I didn't come to this level and now starts reacting with that,
The
that
things that had been done
I
to
will
you, yeah.
punish this person, I will do this thing, I will do that. But it was really, really bad then, bro.
But why did you keep going?
I kept going because I knew that I had this thing in me, I can do it. And I mean, I can do.
What's that thing?
I have the talent. I have it. And then I also I found God. I found God in Harvesters. And I mean, I
Mm.
know that I came across a scripture. I know, no, not that I came across the scripture. I've always known that scripture that says, um, "Write if your vision, make it plain. Though
Mm-hmm.
it tarries, wait for it." So it is for an appointed time. So
Mm.
it just kept me going. But when it got to a point, my faith go just they dwindle,
My
they go up,
brother.
they dwindle, they go up, like this, they
Ah,
do, But you get one time, my back reach wall. I run enter church every morning, 6:30. Next level prayers. I run enter church, say, God, you have to do this thing for me. I
I
prayed
know.
and I made a vow and I said, God, if you change my life, I would, I've made a vow that I would carry him on my head. Like I really don't want to care what people would say because there was literally nobody. I was sleeping in people's DM. Like I would go, in fact, I DM Dr. Dre. When I DM all the ones where they finish, when I say,
Go Hollywood.
I don't exhaust, they know they reply my message. I come on, DM Dr. Dre. There's this other they say what's the name of this guy? This guy, Fat Joe. Just the DM say, listen to my jam, listen to me, I'm good, I'm all that. I mean, when I don't exhaust, when I don't do everything, I've done everything humanly possible.
To get
Nobody
noticed.
was even
Mm.
giving me face, you know. So I just had to run to God. With God, it's not. I felt before it was about my talent,
Yeah.
but God humbled me. Says
Mm.
it's not by power, it's not by might, but by my spirit.
What do you
You
think
know,
God was teaching you in that season? This long wait. What do you think God
it
was?
was teaching me patience. It was teaching me humility. It was teaching me. It was taking sieving some things off me.
Mm.
Because sometimes once you just get it, on a
Become
platter,
arrogant.
and
Yeah.
you will self-destruct. So God
Mm.
needs to take you through that process to help you
To
understand
refine
that
you.
it's not about you. So, and even when you get there, you know that it's a platform for you to help people. It's not a platform for you to get to and start feeling like,
You've
till today, I
arrived.
don't see myself as shit.
Mm.
I don't see myself as anything. Like, I just roll normally.
Yeah.
So you see me involved in some conversations with some people and you'll be like, why is he doing this? But because I was super proud before. I was super, super proud before. But those were the things that God dealt with me on. So when I came out of that, I knew that almost it's not about me. It's not about,
Mm.
because with the way God can't do them. If you listen to my songs before, I listen to my songs now, you know that this boy knows how to sing again. Is you people see, there's a scripture in the Bible that says the old temple, when they destroyed the old temple,
Mm.
the new, when they come build new one, the new generation people, they shout, say, this temple is beautiful. But the old people, they cry, say, if only you guys see
Mm. What
waiting
was
day
it?
there before. So people will say, who is your guy? If you hear my song before, you'll be like, what? Like I sing,
Yeah.
But God, I still
This
sing
was the
though.
message that God wanted you to
But the
pass.
song where God go use change my life, I don't even sing quarter.
Mm.
You understand? So that's God telling you that, come on, it's not about how talented you are, you know.
Spyro, like, that this thing you just said is so profound because I think I've gone through a bit of it. And, God is so interesting that if He really has some purpose for you, He's going to really break you,
Mm-hmm.
reposition you.
Mm-hmm.
That humbling part is the most painful part because, you're puffed up by the fact that you're so talented. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, you're telling God, you're giving God your own timeline as per God, say, with this talent, I'm supposed to do this level, this level,
You
this level.
get, you get.
You don't even see people who will say, no, we even sabi sing,
Wait, no
reach
reason. Now
you,
that one they even they pay
don't
me
blow.
pass. I was a big deal as
Yeah.
a then. I told you I was a big deal in University of Ibadan. So that was
Right.
when I used to go to University of Ife.
So you self get more pedigree over them.
Do you
Like,
understand? Like
yeah.
when I entered this, I don't work with Sound Sultan as at that point.
Mhm.
I was, my name don't pop enter Ife. All
Mhm.
this Chinko Tiger, the virus, all of
Mhm.
them. So when I entered Ife, then that was when I met Fireboy.
Mhm.
It was signed by a friend of mine. Maybe not pen to paper sign, but it
Yeah,
was
but
share sign. And there they chop, they do everything, they record and all those things. I heard Fireboy and I'm like, this guy is talented, man, and they just dropped a song. I'm like, don't promote the song locally. Let me see what I can do. I spoke to, I think it was OVA then.
mhm.
So they helped me. They uploaded it. I think I paid for it. Yeah, I did. I paid for the song to be on Not Just Okay, which was like a big platform back then.
Yeah, it was huge.
Not just
A.com.
okay.com. Once you don't hear that, ask this thing for
The
song
song
like
don't
this.
blow.
God. So I'm telling you how I thought that when Fireboy come blow, I can be like, hey,
Hey, before
God,
me,
me, I still did.
you
Fireboy
rigged
was
this
doing,
thing, yeah.
do you understand? And all those times, God was
Filtering out.
teaching me that, come, it's not about you, it's not about what you can do, it's by my grace. Oxlade too. I mean, before Oxlade blew, hey God, Oxlade was in my show in 2018 that I brought Davido, Mayokun. I had a song with David and Mayokun 2018. I thought that was it. But I don't blow finish.
I think there's a song. Please, can you give me? Can you explain?
Funke, it was say I be snake. I swallow plenty money. Funke was quite big then, so I
Yeah.
thought that this was it. So I did a show then. Oxlade came. I would post Oxlade and say, guys, watch out for this guy. This guy is bad. I still get the pictures. Oxlade would do my DM, say, Baba, thank you. Do you understand? Like, I just see Oxlade again, blow, pew. I said, God, what's going on? Now, Oxlade and Fireboy Blue, now he pay me. I say, no be say,
Pay you,
I'm
but it just
happy.
triggered you, yeah.
Like, I'm happy that they blew at the point that they blew. But I'm like, these
It's
are
about
people
me.
that, God, what is going on? Like, these are people that literally.
Well, or like my Smalley's way.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it was so painful for me. It was frustrating. I would cry. I would struggle with God. When my back. Now why people don't understand when I say Jesus, Jesus,
Yes,
I carry Jesus. You don't understand. Like, you don't know what in my eyes don't see.